It should be an orderly adjustment indeed. And let me get you the contrarian view on this. Some people believe the rupee was overvalued, so correction was warranted. It's the pace of the correction that perhaps people are losing a little bit of sleep over. Is that a view that you necessarily agree with, that this kind of a correction was warranted for a while now, and you know, it is happening and it's a reality we've just got to adjust to?
Well, I'm not sure there has been a dramatic correction as you use the word. The rupee over time has depreciated probably in consonance with the interest rate or inflation differentials between India and the rest of the world. And even whatever movement we're seeing today is moderate relative to what's happening elsewhere in the world. And certainly, periods of risk-off sentiment are periods when some amount of capital leaves the country. But I should say that as of now, we don't see significant amounts flowing out. Now, that may change over time, but as of now, we don't see that.
Governor Rajan, just a very quick question, one last question on the rupee before I move forward, and that is that market participants would want to know from you, is the RBI in the market to lend stability to the currency? I know you wouldn't want to tell me your positions and what strategy the RBI is indeed adopting, but just to assuage frayed nerves here, are you out there in the market trying to bring stability back to the currency? Because we have seen some amount of stability return to levels of 68.02 as I'm speaking right now.
Well, let me just put it this way, that we are watching various markets, including the currency market, and where necessary, we provide liquidity.
Governor Rajan, this also means that the Fed will now be constrained to increase interest rates at the pace at which perhaps it would have liked to. Is that again a silver lining for India? And it looks like one more opportunity gets thrown at us, and that is perhaps the one silver lining in this dark cloud, that A, the Fed rate hike gets delayed, and B, oil prices that were beginning to rise are perhaps going to remain at lower levels, at least over the medium term.
I think, these are sort of the kinds of reactions that offset the initial shock. And I think you will see some political reactions also. You may see some central bank reactions. So I think if you put all these reactions also into play, the net effect of the shock is ameliorated somewhat by these. So that's precisely what I was saying earlier, that the initial adjustment sort of takes into account a lot, but over time you will also see some reactions from various quarters, including central banks as well as governments, and I'm hopeful that we can mitigate the shock.
From a relative medium-term point of view, Governor, many people believe that India has strong economic fundamentals. Do you believe in a situation like these, those can come to our rescue?
Yeah, no, I have always said we have three lines of defense. The first is our good fundamentals, and I think that with the monsoon showing signs of strong life once again, that there is reason to believe that that sentiment and activity should pick up as we go into the year. The second line of defense is, of course, the fact that we have limited short-term liabilities, and more of our foreign liabilities